Hi. 1 year ago, to the day, on the day of filming, I stood before you as a man humbled. I came to you hat in hand and wanting advice. Now I know in that video I spoke in absolutes. I even titled it, I would never raise Cornish crosses again. But alas, YouTube and the internet being what it is, it was one of my most viewed videos. And in those views, nearly 100 people took time out of their day to leave comments, leave suggestions, tell me what I was doing wrong, which was the purpose of that video. And I would be naive to let all that knowledge go away because of my stubbornness. Wouldn't be right, wasting your time. So I took all of those suggestions and comments and I went ahead and purchased more Cornish crosses in association with more Red Rangers. And I wanted to say thank you. I took all of the comments and all of the suggestions that were left on that video, and I listened to almost all of them. And I'm happy to say that with roughly about a week, maybe 2 weeks left, my Cornish crosses are flourishing. And I think my naivety in that original video really came through when all of the people kept saying the same thing over and over again. It's dirty, and you're feeding them too much. So this year, because of the innumerable comments that said, go 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Look at them. They're spry, they're moving about, they're relatively clean, they're not nearly as lazy and deathly looking as they were before, and I really couldn't be happier. So hopefully, algorithmically, if you took time and left a comment, this video pops up and you're able to see this video a year removed from the old video, which I understand in internet time, a year is like 10,000 years. But I do want to say thank you because they're flourishing. They're happy. They live a good life. And I really wanted to say thank you for guiding me into successfully raising this year's batch of Cornish crosses. So what did I do different? First, like I said, everyone suggested 12 hours of food, 12 hours out of food. That works smashingly, except in the morning. When you go to deliver the bucket of food, they attack you. They're little dinosaurs and they prove it. They will physically attack the bucket, your feet. They go crazy. It's not too bad. What is the old question? Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? I could definitely say I would take the 100 because I could probably take them out. Because the 15 or so chickens that I have here, every morning I'm trained up. Rocky. What else did I do different? I'm far more studious as far as cleaning goes. While the ground is dirty now, I clean out the area that they were raised far more often, about once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on how much output they have. And while it costs a little bit more, their health and happiness is leaps and bounds better than it was last year. Also, someone else suggested, which I thought was kind of weird, but I took the advice. It said, brood them in a larger area. They'll be better in the long run. I thought that was weird, but I did it, and that helped also. This entire area was their brooder. I put the heat plate in there, and you could see like their poop trail. It just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and as they got older, they branched out further and further, so they've had more of an area to raise up, and it definitely helped. I don't know if it changed their musculature or they weren't so sedentary because they were moving from the beginning, but that helped also. And along those lines, something else that we did was that we have kept them segregated from the rest of the flock. Now, to their detriment, which I don't really think they mind. They don't really get outside as much as the other birds do. They do go out, but they just kind of end up making their way right back in. They have the right, if they choose, to leave, whereas the other birds wake up, they go outside, they do their chicken business, they come inside. These guys just kind of remain on the floor, and keeping them separated from the rest of the flock, where I guess they don't have to really fight over feed, they could just be lazy and chill out, seems to be benefiting them as well. So thank you for that tip. One of the things that I didn't do that was suggested in the comments was I was changing the feed. One person said cat food, another person said other things. I did not change the feed. I do what I do with all the other birds, raise them on starter, after a couple weeks, switch them over to regular feed. This kind of goes back to what I talked to in the first video, where I'm not really smashing the gas as hard as most people, so especially in a commercial setup where you're trying to maximize every dollar. This is just regular feed from the Amish folks. So I think that helped as well, as far as them growing up healthy at a more controlled pace, but that's one piece of advice that I didn't follow. Would you calm down? Why are you jumping? Why are you biting them? And the part B to the first video that I posted was, were there other suggestions on birds that I could raise that would be similar to the Cornish crosses, maybe not as fast, but just as good, just as homesteady, just as good. And I think the one that came in the most was Bresse. Bresse. Ask 1,000 chicken people, you get 1,000 different answers on how to pronounce that. And I did. Hopefully you can see them. This black one here, no, that's the mystery chicken. And they're all over there. I put the camera in. Mixed here into the regular flock of neatered hires are a brown one? I don't know. The blackbird there and the blackbird there are Bresse. We also had 3 other boys. Mother Nature does really good at splitting them up 50-50, so I ordered a half a dozen. Those boys came in, did their business, and are in the freezer. Now, they were not nearly as fast as the Cornish crosses in raising. Their weight was smaller than I was expecting. Here on my homestead, we run a time to crow, time to go lifestyle, where once you reach maturity, especially with all the girls around, you gotta go. They didn't nearly reach the level that I expected them to as far as weight-wise, but they were perfectly fine. And as far as eating the Bresse, which is the Angus of chicken, we haven't eaten them yet, so I don't have any opinion on how they taste or anything like that, because we haven't gotten to them yet. The one thing about Bresse chickens that nobody told me about, they fly. They fly really well. I've made the joke before, but the rest of my chickens are like most Americans, and they are too fat to fly. On the other hand, the Bresses will fly. They take right off, and they go and they do their chicken business, and then they come back. But this is not a Bresse video. However, if you're watching this and you're thinking about replacing Cornish crosses and algorithmically we're together, know that if you startle them, they'll fly. So finally, I just want to say one thing. Now, even though they will have a 100% mortality rate in a week or two, the large part of that other video was the fact that I lost a couple birds before their farm-wise expiration date. This has not been the case. I ordered and got 13, and as close as we can get to the finish line without jinxing it, I haven't lost any birds. So know that if the algorithm connects us again, and you left a comment the last time where you said you had about 30%, some people said I lost a bunch of birds, know that if you follow some of the rules and even the advice in the comments of the old video, they worked. The birds are happy and healthy and nobody died, and I'm super duper appreciative of the people who took time out to leave comments and make suggestions to make our little homestead better. So for that, I have to say thank you. And hopefully the guy who said you should do about 20% more B-roll, hope he's happy. Guys, thank you for all your advice, your comments and suggestions. I really appreciate it. I didn't expect people to actually leave comments on that video. I really expected them to point and laugh, and really most people didn't. Chicken folks are pretty legit, and we're pretty cool to each other. Thank you very much for watching the other video. And I'm really happy that I'm able to make this video. Hard to beat the king. These really are some fat birds. Thanks for watching. Wagwan there. Calm down, you. I'm filming here.